both as a focal point lead for the UK, but also as a member of the Cool Coalition Executive Steering Committee, which I've been probably for 3 or 4 years. They asked for someone for government to join about 3 or 4 years ago, and I think I was the only applicant. So it's a dual role, and it's provided me with the privilege of collaborating really closely with Lily and the team, and many country leads. And from the UK, we've got so much out of this. We've got an amazing amount of knowledge and support and kudos and lots and lots of other benefits associated with being through this group. And I'd just like to thank the Core Coalition for the opportunity for the UK to be involved in this. And we've been involved in some working groups, and we've witnessed firsthand the passion, innovation, and deep commitment of many, many people involved. We were one of the, I guess, early supporters of the Global Cooling Pledge, and we've also been one of the early supporters of the idea of cool champions. And we saw an opportunity for there to be some sort of elevated, visible leadership, different than us, promoting the exchange of best practices and amplifying the collective impact of our cooling strategies. So we thought it was a good idea to actually promote the idea within Cool Coalition of a cool champion, and Lily and the team have written up a terms of reference, which I think you've all got, because Anya sent through to you this just before the previous session, and it's in English and French, you'll be pleased to know. We've got some slides which we'll take you through in a minute, but critical for those slides is making sure that if we were to go ahead with Cool Champion, that it's a transparent, open process of selection. And it's fair, it encourages broad participation, and it allows all voices, and maybe this comes back to the point, one of the points made earlier, that we need to make sure we've got representation across our collective to be equally recognised and heard. And she's not here, but Rachel Kite, some of you may know, she's been involved in lots of things. She's senior within the UK government, and she was at the ministerial. She represented the UK at the ministerial at COP29. She's the UK Special Representative for Climate. And I understand from Lily that this was her suggestion. So, and she's not here, but I'm going to say thank you to her next time I see her. So that's a bit of an introduction for me. If we've got some slides we can show. I can't actually see any slides on this. We've got them there. There we go. I can't actually see that one. So why do we think there's an opportunity to have something called a Cool Champion? Well, I think it's just an opportunity to do more, and to do more in terms of leadership, and to have someone high level who can be visible, drive political momentum and peer learning. And we thought it was a good opportunity, and that's how it arose. And if we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, and these slides are slightly back to front, but this is how the Cool Champion potentially will be chosen. And if we go ahead, the idea would be that we would have you guys, the signatories would nominate. You could nominate yourself, or you could nominate someone else before the annual Focal Points meeting. So at this point. Okay, normally. And a nomination could be an open call as well. And then the idea is we have some form of independent evaluation committee. And I think when you read the terms of reference, I think it says seven people involved in this. And the committee's rotating, and it's got 2 UN representatives, 2 reps from the broader development sector, 1 academic, 1 civil society, and 1 from the Core Coalition Secretariat. And the idea is that the designation confirmed normally would be on a normal year on the 31st of August, and announced at the UN COP in November, and the term begins in January. That's the idea. If we can go to the next slide. And these are the things that they could do, okay? And this is a bit of a shopping list is not the right words, okay? But this is things that we would, they could do. There may be other things that they could do as well. And but really, it's really trying to raise the profile, make the most of the momentum that we've got. High-level roundtables, organising ministerial bilaterals to expand either the pledge signatories or also the commitments itself. Peer learning visits, showcasing some of the excellent work that's going on, etc. I can never say this word, advocacy campaigns, etc. And outreaches on there. And what we would do is, whoever the core champions would be, we would ask them for, and initially they would make some sort of statement about what they're going to do, and then they would make a statement, some report halfway through about what they've done, and a report at the end. And we would encourage that to include photographs and a whole bunch of things, and we would use that as a media opportunity as well as really, recognising what they've achieved over that period of time. So that's it really. I've explained it very, very quickly, and you've got a copy of the terms of reference, and I guess I'm going to ask if there's any. I'm going to play this game again. Ask if there's anyone that's got any questions at all that wants to, is it a good idea? Firstly, do you support it? Have we missed anything? Have we got things in there that you don't like? You don't think they should be doing? Anything extra to include? Is it clear? Is it clear what we've described? So those are the sorts of things that are in my mind that you might want to ask. But anyway, over to you. And French is allowed. Yep, we got one over there. I see someone over. Yeah, please, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And first of all, I want you to convey my sentiments to your colleague from the UK for suggesting this cool champion. The first thing I want to say, the name is not a novel one, because in some other institutions they have cool champions that they promote globally. But I think the initiative is a great one that can motivate the signatory countries to want to aspire for greater accomplishments. I am, however, seeking a clarification on the methodology and approach as you're describing it, because I have not really looked at the terms of reference, but from your description, you're saying that an indication can be given, let's say in January, at the beginning of the term, and then in terms of what would be done, and then a media review can be done, and then at the end. So I'm trying to understand that, because my thinking of a cool champion is that a country does something, and then they submit what they've done for evaluation, not necessarily having to give a media review or so on. The other point I want clarification on is whether or not the cool champion is a country or signature country, or an institution within the country, or an individual within the country. Who qualifies to be a cool champion, or what qualifies to be a cool champion? Thank you.
Thanks. There's some really good questions there, and I'm just going to look towards Lily and maybe to come in on these, please.
Sure, I'm happy to chime in, and my colleague Mary Sophie, who's I think online with us as well, has worked very hard on this, these terms of reference, and I think spoken to some of the countries to get inputs. I believe that there's 3 categories. So one is for, and Mary-Sophie, please do keep your screen on because you're the expert on the details, so you can correct me if I'm wrong on anything. So there's 3 categories. It's developed country category, a developing country category, and a individual. And sort of an influencer or something, right? Mary-Sophie, I see you shaking your head, but basically a non-state actor. And the country is represented by, I think, a minister, but it's a country champion. So the evaluation of being a champion is how well you've progressed on the pledge, for example. So it would be a whole of country effort, but you would put one face forward to sort of represent the country as a champion. However, this is open for discussion if there's a better way of doing it. We're, I think, open to that, and that's why we're having the discussion today. So I think that's the first point. Is there anything you want to correct me on, Mary-Sophie? Is okay? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And then on the report, I think the idea there can also be flexible. I think it was just more like having an idea, having saying, okay, we're going to do this many engagements, or we're going to set some targets for what we're going to do as a champion. You know, maybe we're going to have a South-South engagement, or we're going to reach out to this many countries, or we're going to do this many media events, and then being able to sort of showcase progress back to the Secretariat so that we can also make sure to amplify that and tell people all about what the champion's been doing. And so it's that kind of a reporting. It's not like some kind of so that was what was intended by the reports. Again, Mary-Sophie, please tell me if I've captured that correctly. Yes, okay.
Do you want to come
Yes,
in,
thank you very much.
Mary-Sophie?
Thank you, Graham, as well.
Did you want to come in with
I
anything
agree
or
here.
add anything?
Yes, I don't know if you can hear me well, because
We can.
I can hear myself twice. Oh, it's okay. So I just wanted to come in to let you know that our suggestion is to actually have 3 cool champions. 2 of them will be institutional, meaning from the Global Clean Pledge, but not only country, but subnational signatories as well. So the distinction would be between developing and developed, because we are trying to be inclusive, just like Graham mentioned. The third one will be somebody who's not formally affiliated with the Global Clean Pledge. So there we can have, like Lily mentioned, an influencer or an activist, or just somebody from a country that is not part of the Global Clean Pledge yet, or ever. So we're trying to be as inclusive as possible, and we're trying to advance the work that the Global Clean Pledge does, but also sustainable pooling in general. That's why we have a 3rd category, or we propose to have a 3rd category of an individual champion. And regarding the functions, obviously they're different for Global Cooling Pledge champions, where they are developed or developing, and for the individual pool champion. The individual pool champion will be more like an advocate, somebody who will do press, media runs. Not that the Global Cooling Pledge cool champions will not do that, but we expect from the lot of you to step up on the political arena as well, as you have already done. So that's it from me. I don't want to take any more of your time.
Thank you, that was perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know if that's answered your questions, Leslie.
Feel free to come back if you want to clarify anything further. Mary-Sophie, just a big thank you, I guess, from the room for the work that you've done on this and the other things as well. So should we give her a little bit of a clap? I think it would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Just to say thank you. Yes, please go
I
back.
hope you're having a great time in Bonn.
No, it's rubbish. We miss you though.
So please
Sorry, I
don't
was
leave
being,
it,
I was
please
being
don't leave it,
facetious there.
Sophie, because I want to offer maybe, and I'm apologetic for having to take the mic so often, but I want to offer maybe some suggestions that can lead to maybe an improvement or an enhancement in the cool champions. And maybe at some point in time down the road, we can consider a categorization of the cooling champions. So we can look at maybe an implementation champion, a leadership champion, an innovative champion, you know, these kinds of subcategories that can help stimulate further interest and to get more support and more persons on board. So I know we're just in the initial stages here now, but I just wanted to offer that as maybe a means of enhancing it further down the road to stimulate more participation.
I think that's a really well-made suggestion, I think, and something that we can consider. And Lily, do you want to come in on that?
No, I actually have a question kind of building on that. One thing we've debated on a lot and discussed with countries as well is, you know, and also our global comms team in UNEP is, you know, there's a view that you should keep it, we debate on whether it should be 3 per year, 5 per year, you know, and also the categories will, you know, could allow for more. So one of the feedbacks we got was to keep it more limited because then it's, you know, more coveted, let's say. You know, it's really like champions just to highlight a few. But I would just be curious on the feedback on this particular aspect if countries have any views.
Would anybody like to come in on that before we go to Nigeria?
Also, Leslie, like considering the different champion categories, like do you have an idea whether it's 3 or 5, for example, that you're thinking in your experience is good?
Yeah, thank you again. And before I answer the question, one thing we have to guard against is not, for want of a better expression, not watering down the champions by offering too much. And so year after year after year, we might either see the same names or countries appearing, or we may find that what is given as a champion is not really a champion. But to come back to the question, I think, you see, different countries have different situations. That you can be a champion in a particular category, but may not be viewed as a big champion, so to speak. And so I think what can be done is to offer maybe 3 categories per year. So every year at the COP, we announce those 3 cooling champions in the various categories. So a country or an institution or an individual may be that particular champion this year. Another person might be the other champion this year. So I think 3 categories is good, so that 3 countries, institutions, or whatever can be emulated at the COP when that announcement is made.
Thanks, that's a point well made. I think if it's okay, we're going to go to Nigeria and then we're going to come back to Iraq, if that's okay. Would you like to go first, please?
Okay, thank you, Gra. I've been trying to pronounce your name, sorry. So, thank you for giving me the floor. I think from the the responsibilities from the champions you just presented, it's confusing me. It's confusing me. I will need some clarity because I felt from the organogram of the IGCC, I thought that the focal point will work directly with the steering committee member, then giving the support that they will give the co-champion, maybe from each of these countries, the support that they need. So when it has to do with reporting, all right, everything that is being done, because the co-champion might not be a person that is always there in the field to do the work. But the focal point is the one doing this work, reporting to the steering committee member and then to the co-champion, you know. Now that from this, you also said that that the co-champion can nominate his or herself, all right? For me, I don't think it sits well. It doesn't sit well with me, because from these responsibilities, what do cool champions do? You said one of their functions is conveying high-level roundtables or dialogues to advance schooling policies and standards. All right. So I just feel we should pick the criteria on a policymaker, maybe a minister. Let's start with ministers. School champions should, this is just my own, comment or intervention. Like, we should just pick it at that standard, because a minister has the power to convene that high table. An activist, will not just come from and say he or she wants to convene and call on ministers or high level, an activist cannot do that work. So we need, let us just coordinate, let the focal point do the coordination, report to the steering committee. Then the co-champion can now come maybe annually or quarterly or, to come present. This is what we've been able to achieve when it has to do with cooling or with the GCP commitment. This is what my country is doing, and then we award. When you were talking about categories like we should have implementing champions, I don't also buy that. I think it should just be a cooling champion. Then maybe during awards, we can just develop an award a mechanism where the coalition secretariat and everybody can just applaud an award. Oh, this country, when it has to do with implementation, they came first, their performance was high there, and then this country, when it has to do with advocacy, they were up there. But for cool champions, let it be cool champions, and then the vocal points and the steering committee members work with them to achieve this commitment. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's a point well made. And I don't know, Maria Sophie, if you wanted to come in on that point at all. You do. Please, over to you.
Really quick. Yes, these are very well made points. To the first one, I just want to say that we don't want to dilute the initiative either. That's why we're suggesting a pull-down rule. Basically, whoever is the cool champion now cannot be the cool champion next year. And that's how we will achieve not having the same countries, the same cities, the same people all the time. On the second point that was made, I just want to clarify that the Global Cooling Pledge champions have, as is suggested by us, to complete 2 out of 4 tasks. So the functions that we propose are a ministerial level political event, anywhere. It could be at the COP, at the UNGA, G20, and of course the Secretariat will support you, logistically speaking, and with anything you need. Or a bilateral to promote the Global Cooling Pledge. As Amr said earlier today, we want to hit that 100 signatories mark, and we believe that you're the best advocates for that. Or you can convene a regional policy dialogue, or you can have a field visit. So decide between these 4. This is for the ministers, what we suggest to the minister cool champions to do. Now, the individual cool champion, of course, does not have the capacity to do any of that. The individuals can decide between a global advocacy campaign, basically social media, doing interviews, or a short film public service announcement, or giving a mentorship masterclass. This is more youth related. So these are completely different functions for the ministers and the institutional Global Cooling Pledge champions and the individual non-affiliated champion. As for how they are going to be selected, you can see in your terms of reference that we have developed an indicator matrix that basically takes into account different aspects of pooling. But apart from that, we also want to make sure that geographical and gender specificities are taken into account. Hence the rotating evaluation committee. Just like Grant said, we want to be very transparent on that. And as Lily mentioned, these reports that we're suggesting that you do, you can actually find them in the terms of reference in the annex. They're very straightforward and very easy. They just mention the one or two activities that the champion has agreed to do over the year and the outcomes of the activity. So the idea is not to burden you, but to highlight your work. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary-Sophie. I think the other question that you raised was self-nomination as well, and whether self-nomination was the appropriate way of working. So we will consider that point as well, if that's okay with you. Was there anything you wanted to come back on at all? There will be an opportunity to feed back into the terms of reference between now and I think the 17th of July as well. Okay. Going to Iraq.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the floor. I'm sorry to be late to the presentation, and I think I missed something I need to know about cool champion. Is there due to this duty of this champion, there is capacity building, awareness material that can be shown to this focal point, to this champion, so that can be participate in the competition between them and the international level?
So I'm sorry, it's because you're very close. I struggled to hear all of that, but I don't know if I'm probably not the best person to answer it anyway. I don't know whether Lily, whether you got all of that and want to respond, or Mary-Sophie, or unless.
So capacity building is not really involved in the initiative. The only aspect of capacity building, I would say, is the field visit, which is one of the suggested functions. You can choose to do it or not. So for example, if there's something in your country that you really want to showcase and exchange views with other peers in that, you can organize the peer visit under the cool champion guise. But the rest, I would say, it's more about political will and involvement. Because we already know that you're doing the implementation. You are using the Global Cooling Pledge to do the implementation. You don't need the Cool Champions Initiative for that. The Cool Champions Initiative is more about showcasing that implementation, not extending it per se. This is about showing the world what you have already done or you are already doing with the help of the pledge.
Okay, thank you. Was there any further questions from anyone at all? Don't be shy. Anyone wants to come in on anything? Okay, so just to give you a bit of an update on what happens next. So we've sent out the terms of reference. If possible, can we have feedback by the 27th of June? Okay, so that's practically how many days' time? 2 weeks' time? Yeah, 2 weeks' time. And then based upon the feedback, we plan to send a final version back out to everyone for the 4th of July. And if everyone is happy with that, the plan is to invite nominations at the end of July, mid-September evaluation, and for 3 champions to be announced at COP. Okay, we'll put a note round with that timeline so it's clear for you. But is that clear for everyone? Any questions on that timeline at all? Okay. Okay. I think we're going to close this part, and I'm going to hand back over to Ganara. Thanks very much, Mary-Sophie. we are having an amazing time here in Bonn. I was joking earlier on, so, but we do miss you. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Graham. And this is really exciting. The Cool Champion, I think this will be really a very exciting initiative. So looking forward for its implementation, and it will be really great outreach for the coalition. This first day is kind of going slowly to its end, logic end, and it was very busy. It was very intense. We discussed so much, and this is where it is a great pleasure to give our co-chairs opportunity to reflect on the key messages, and maybe also, Martin, you would like also to reflect as well on the today's, yeah? Maybe then we ask Moza and then Adalberto and then Martin to say a few words.
Okay, thank you, Gunara. Well, I think today was a good day. We had a lot of things to talk about, how to further increase the effectiveness of the coalition. This is something that also as a co-chair of CCAC, the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, Brazil has been thinking a lot on how to implement measures that can transform the global methane pledge into something more mandatory, into something that would have more, structure to really deliver the action on methane. I think this is the same situation for cooling. We have a lot of opportunities, as we discussed it today, throughout the official negotiation process, adaptation, passive cooling, nature-based solution. But at the same time, it could be very profitable for other areas throughout the international regimes if we can coordinate better and integrate better what we are doing here on cooling with the other pledges like CHAMP, actions on the Montreal Protocol and different things. So I'm very happy to see that we were able to drive a lot of the things. We're also very happy that most of the board members here supported our ideas for beating the heat in cities as an implementation driver for COP30. I think there's a lot of homework we still need to do in order to bring the mayors on board, the islands, the subnational governments, and everybody else. But I'm very happy to see that this proposal was welcomed by most of the partners. And also to close, as this is the first board meeting I'm here representing Brazil, we also want to thank again our colleagues from the United Arab Emirates and our colleagues from Germany and Italy that have been supporting this process, UK, which also acts as co-chair with us at CCAC, and especially for UNEP for the invitation for Brazil to be part of the cooling board. We feel the sense of responsibility because of the situation that the world is living regarding heat, climate change, and the impact that these have on biodiversity loss, increase of pollution, and all the global crisis we are living. So we are very thankful for everybody for trusting Brazil together with United Arab Emirates in this process. And I'm really positive that COP30 could be a very important milestone in this process so that we can move forward to a better implementation and further development on the policies of cooling, not only for our NDCs, for our national legislations, but also for the cooperation with the multilateral governance structure with subnational governments that we all need to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So, and thank you definitely again for paving the way to the priorities in COP30. Thank you for our co-host and Cooling Coalition and the countries who's existing here today. It's very inspiring that to see how far we have come since COP28, from launching the global pledge into the framework, the governance, and the implementation plan. UAE remains committed to supporting this progress through the IGCC and the partnership. So let's keep the momentum and ensure cooling being a priority for the countries to the next step. Thank you so much, everyone. Back to you, Martin. Thank you.
Okay, I'm having the last word here. Well, as a passive cooling measure, I took off my jacket because it was getting very warm here in the room. Feel free to do the same if you feel the heat, coming. So, chairs and co-chairs and friends and everybody, I was very encouraged by the discussions here today. I feel that we have a momentum going. A momentum that we can build on, and obviously we are looking very much towards Brazil, not only because of the Copacabana, but because we see that you have a passion for the topic, and if a passion combined with leadership doesn't get us anywhere, then I don't know what will. So I think you have that, you have displayed that. Adalberto, and we thank you for that. We are looking forward working with you, with the presidency, and obviously with all the other partners that are here in the room. I have high hopes that the cooling topic, through this coalition and that through the work that we are doing here, will be elevated and will find its way into not only the NDCs, and not only the global action plans and all of that, but will find its way to the ground, to where the projects are, where we need to do the work. So I have that hope, and that hope is based on what I have heard and what I saw here today. So I want to thank you for that. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Germany, would like to say also a few words from the host?
Maybe, yeah. Just a couple of then final words. Sorry, Martin, for doing add another layer to this, but not so much on content, because I think our co-chairs and Martin, they've summarized this very well. I think I just want to take the opportunity to thank all of you for making that travels and coming here to Bonn and actually showing by your presence here in this room and in this weekend your commitment to this topic. So it's very good to see you all here and having hopefully another engaging day tomorrow. But I would also want to thank all the team behind the scenes, and this is also us as hosting this event on behalf of the German government. But also there's a whole team of the GIZ being involved in this. There's UNEP being involved in preparing all of that. So I would like to finish this first day by a round of applause for all the team behind the scenes who are all helping make this happen today. So thank you very, very much.